Good evening and welcome to Threat Hunting, where if it doesn't keep your boss up at night or scare the crap out of your CEO, it's probably not worth looking for. So today we're going to take a look at a MITRE technique related to privilege escalation. And the way I came about it was I was reading how Trickbot is using a new technique for Windows 10. And I realized that, well, gosh, I don't know the old one very well. So went and took a look at it to learn about it and want to share what I found about how to hunt for elevated COM objects. And perhaps it can help you as well. And if you have a deeper understanding of these processes, I would love to hear about them. Share them in the comments. If you have other hunts you use, let's make this place a repository for good hunts to find. Okay, let's dig in though. Because it's always a good idea to keep a lookout for escalation privilege. Oh gosh, I love Chili Willy. Okay, so for this one, so we are escalating account privileges and specifically user access control. So if you're on a machine as a normal user with normal user privileges, as is best practice everywhere, and you want to do something that your account doesn't have permission to do, a prompt will pop up and ask you to log on as a administrator to do those things. Okay, so the technique we're looking at is using COM objects, all right, and also particular processes to bypass whitelisting and app locker controls, because Windows will let some programs do things that other programs aren't allowed to. They kind of get a pass. So this takes advantage of that particular I guess it's not a bug if it's by design, right? So when we go to how does it happen, this is straight out of MITRE. We're going to take a look at, this says run DLL32, but we're actually going to be looking at DLL host and COM objects. So, all right, let us take a look. I'm using AnyRun just because it's a great place for, well, a lot of information, and it's kind of where I did most of my research. So we're going to hop over there. All right, so here's a new-ish Trickbot sample. This is the 2nd of February, 2020. Let's take a look at the process. We've got a kind of a general thing. Here's probably the first file that landed on the machine, and then it dropped a secondary file. Good things to notice real quick. Look, we're in app data local, and then all of a sudden the other file is in program data. Now we've got here, this is showing a COM object, probably using APIs. Notice how it is kind of broken the escalation, the execution pathway from up here, right? So that's interesting. It's using this particular process that often bypasses app locker. CMSTPLUA. I kind of forgot what it stands for, but maybe we'll see it as we go through. And then we see that is what actually ends up the parent process for Trickbot. And then we see down here we have a scheduled task, which also runs Trickbot. So there's our big overview. So let's dig in, and we're going to dig into this first process right here. Now, when that process runs, I want to point out that it reads, okay, this particular registry entry. And notice the value. Here's our process that is going to bypass app locker and create the elevated COM object for escalation privilege. And specifically, I want you to take a look at this string of numbers. This is the interface, the COM interface ID for that process, because that's going to be how this goes through, and it's going to help us detect it as well. I'm going to hop over here and take a look at the matrix that AnyRun popped up. Notice for execution, the only way Trickbot works is if you click on something and load it. And so it starts with user execution. Schedule task, there's our persistence, kind of both of them. And we're going to be right here. We're bypass user access control. That's what we're looking at right now. Now, anyone noticed it here. Noticed it as DLL host. Okay. Interacting with that long ID again. Now remember, that is the COM interface ID for S. Oh goodness, I said it wrong. Here, I gotta look real quick. There it is. CMSTPLUA. So one thing to note is when we hunt for this, we might not see that if it's using the COM interface, right? We're only going to be able to find it through that interface ID, which is kind of what I wanted to point out right here. So, and that's where we've got COM objects and privilege escalation attack. Okay, so if we read a little bit more about this, we hop over to MITRE, we can see that they kind of spell it out pretty well. Talks about auto-elevated CMSTPLUA interfaces. And again, there's our ID. And this particular technique also has a secondary ID, which isn't bad to look for. Now, if you want to go deeper and dig around, you can see that there is a number of places out there that will also show you how to do it, which is kind of fun. Again, please be safe and follow your local laws. And okay, see here you're talking about this particular binary and how it can be used as a bypass. Okay, to bypass app blocker along with UAC. So lots of good stuff out there, lots of stuff to find. Microsoft Connection Manager Profile Installer. Okay, it makes me feel better now that that actually got on camera. So, and there's lots of ways to abuse this particular binary. You can use different files types as well, but Trickbot is using it as a COM object. So, okay. Now, if you're going to hunt for this, if you're going to dig down and try to find it, what could you do? Well, here's one idea. You could, if you have a command line interface, and I so encourage your company, yourself, your enterprise to find a way to get this visibility because it is fantastic. You could do command line hunting for this this COM interface ID. All right. And then if you found it, you could look very shortly before it and very shortly after it for unknown and suspicious hashes and what they do, right? Maybe you should see a scheduled task perhaps popping up. Yeah. So, well, thanks for walking down this journey while I was learning about this UAC escalation privilege. Yeah, technique. So again, if you have questions, if I've got something wrong, a lot of people out there have a deeper knowledge than me, please share it. If you've got your own hunts that you want to share, again, please put them down there and we can have that discussion. If you want to know how to hunt for something, I'm happy to share any signatures I have that have given good results. And if you use a particular sim that you're stuck with, like maybe you use QRadar and you don't know how to make the AQL search, happy to help. Maybe you use Splunk and you're stuck on syntax. Perhaps you use ArcSight. So whatever it might be, let's see if we can help each other out. And thank you so much for watching.